Can we talk about some of the other platforms as well?
Yep.
Because as you said in the very beginning, things do change very quickly. And so all of a sudden, when everyone was kind of cut off from Facebook for a while, they all jumped on LinkedIn after they sort of, after all the jokes came out about what's my MySpace login. And then everyone jumped over to LinkedIn. And I think LinkedIn still remains a bit underutilized as far as agents are concerned. Frankly, LinkedIn, and people who have been listening to this podcast for a couple of years now know that LinkedIn scares me because I just get spammed by people with ridiculous messages that are just not even anything to do with anything I do. How should agents be using LinkedIn at the moment to build their profiles?
Okay, so LinkedIn is not Facebook. It is a B2B platform, and it's about your professionalism, not what you had for dinner. And what I think agents have missed is, I'll just claim the profile. And what that meant was they've got no picture, no background, but they do have a name, a picture at best, and a really bad picture at best, and no real valuable content on there, no real valuable profile background on there. Now, again, it's another tool. My biggest tip for using LinkedIn is please fill in the boxes of information. If it says what's your work history, maybe complete that box. That would be useful. If it does ask for a photo, please don't post one. This is my pet hate on LinkedIn. Don't post one from 25 years ago. I like to think I still look 20, but I don't. And I'm okay. This is my professional face now. I've got to meet people off LinkedIn. They don't know what I look like. And if you're posting a picture where, let's say, quite frankly, is not you anymore, people aren't even going to find you. And why would I trust you? You're trying to deceive me, even with the picture that you're using. But don't underestimate what people look at within the profile. So once you've got the boxes filled in, you can post to the LinkedIn platform in the same way that you post to Facebook in terms of valuable content. That's still useful to have an up-to-date profile. But people aren't on LinkedIn every waking moment of the day for work. It's work. Let's remember that. It's not my fashion, my dinner arrangements for the weekend and someone's so and so forth birthday and new baby being born. That's completely different. So what the tricks are that people are missing in LinkedIn is actually making genuine connections. Now, I was having this discussion recently. If someone was to pass you on the street and say, "Hi, how you going?" Would you just actually look at them like deadpan and just keep walking? I'm hoping you wouldn't. Someone, hopefully, is being human, might go, "Oh, hi," even if you don't know them. And you've got to take the offline space into the online space. You can't just hit someone up with, "Hey, want to go out?" You can't, and dating comes up all the time in social, and how do you actually create that connection? But we know that in marketing, you need to hit people with a consistent message over and over again before they remember you, before they have any need for you, and before they're certainly going to connect with you on any meaningful level. So if you have to hit them, let's say 20 times to get 7 that stick, and then you can approach them. That's not something that happens in a week, and it's not something that happens in 2 or 3 interactions. So we do need to warm people up so that when you do make that introduction of value and of purpose, then they're going to be receptive to that connection. And that's where people are missing it. "Oh, I'll just send an in-mail message." The most impersonal, not recommended purpose of using LinkedIn at all, unless you've got a warm introduction. And if you've got $10 an email to spend, give me a call. I'll tell you 10 other things to do with $10 per email.
I know. It's all a bit of a trade-off with that sort of budget these days. But the message I get usually from people is, because you're a real estate agent and because you're in North Sydney, we'd like to work with you, or something like that. And I'm like, wrong, I'm not a real estate agent, and wrong again, I'm not in North Sydney anymore. So, I think it's just really important that you send the right, you actually research before you send that email too, because, there's so many people wasted so much money on me.
Oh my goodness, I'm exactly the same. And sometimes if I'm in the mood after a coffee or two, I actually write back and order pizza.
I'm going to try that.
Yeah. Do you know what? And the more they persist, especially the rude ones that come through and say, I haven't heard back from you on this. I'll just write back, where's the pepperoni? The garlic bread was missing. And actually, I never asked for Pepsi. I'd really like Coca-Cola, thanks. And they just go away eventually. But I mean, I'm like you. I get hundreds of requests from useless providers who haven't read a single thing about my business, and then want to offer their services. And yeah, it's not. I actually have a few templates which are copy and paste I can send to you if you like.
I was going to say, do you have any tips for cold outreach? Because it is like, LinkedIn is a good place to engage in a bit of cold outreach with people that are maybe executives in your local area or something like that. What are your tips?
Yeah, it's offering something of value. And when I say that, don't message me and say, could I buy you a cup of coffee and pick your brain? My brain costs about $180 for every 30 minutes. So yeah, you want to pick my marketing brain? There's a reason I've been in the industry for a really long time and I get the results. So why would that be worth a $3.50 coffee or $5.50 if you're in Barrel? It just doesn't make sense to me. So if you're going to approach someone with that cold call, maybe show them that you do have a connection via somebody else, that there's a real legitimate person in this, because there's also the feeling that a lot of LinkedIn connections are spammy. You don't really know these people. I did have a buyer's agent connect to me just recently. And in fact, he wouldn't connect to me. He watched me do some training online. So he knows I'm a legit business. He's seen who I am. He knows what I do in real estate. And he wouldn't accept my LinkedIn request on the basis, and I hope he's watching this, on the basis that he's personally met every single person that he's connected with on LinkedIn. I'm like, okay, missing the core fundamentals of how LinkedIn does work. And I'm not saying accept every request. I get requests from a lot of American military personnel who apparently can't get past my gorgeous eyes. Yeah, we're not going to do that.
Wrong platform again.
Yeah. And, if I wasn't married, I'd probably have a bit of fun with that too. But no, stay away from the stalkers. But at the same time, this person knows what I do in my industry. I've tried to connect with them before, and he's asking me to come and meet with him, and he won't accept my LinkedIn request. So, what he could have utilised is, I see that you're connected to these 50 people that he does know personally that could make it a legitimate connection.